Number 5 on the list is a film called Close Up. Close Up is an Iranian film that came out in 1990. It is directed by a man named Abbas Kiarostami. I don't know if I pronounced that right, but there you go. Okay, so Close Up is about a man. I'm not going to tell you too much about the plot of the film. Basically, it's about a man who impersonates a well-known director, and then he's caught, and then the aftermath and everything of what happens is shown in the movie. Okay.
خب من میتونم باید کاری بکنم شما درد مورایتون به بیان تصویری بکشید.
The thing about this movie is I guess you could say the experimental part of this movie is that the movie is based on true events and it depicts actual events, meaning that they're not dramatized events, they're actual events that have actually happened in real life that are shown in this movie. Okay, so it is a combination of actual events that actually happened and reenactments of events that happened in the past. Okay, so the things that they weren't able to capture on film, they reenacted those events, and the things that actually they were able to capture, like the actual events, those are like real life events that are shown in the film. Everyone in the movie is a real life person playing themselves, obviously, because some of the events are actually as they happen. In the reenactments, they play themselves and reenact the events that actually happened, right? It is a very emotional film. The ending will have you weeping, I guarantee it. And it is just, honestly, if I could make a film that is half as ambitious as this movie, I think I would have achieved everything I want in life. I was just so deeply, when I first saw it, I was just so deeply astonished by how ambitious the film was and how it was able to tug at my heartstrings. It is such a touching film. And like, you don't see that anywhere else, like there's such a great use of non-actors, and it is just an amazing film. Please go give it a watch. Now this list wouldn't be complete क्योंकि मैं बना रहा हूँ. This list wouldn't be complete without a David Lynch film. So number 4 on this list is a film called Eraserhead. Eraserhead is a film that came out in 1977. It's the debut film of David Lynch, and it is fucking weird, and I love it for it. It depicts this world, this very dystopian industrial landscape that the protagonist lives in. Our protagonist Henry is a very timid, very strange character.
Come on in.
He often seems very confused about his surroundings, so it's kind of acknowledged that something strange is happening and something isn't right. It's very strange. You have to see it for yourself, because some of the imagery in this film will stick with you, I guarantee it. आप ये movie देखेंगे, आपको ये movie भूलने नहीं लगी. It's such a strange and such a different film, and I find it so insane that David Lynch was ballsy enough to make a film like this as his debut in 1977 in America, in Hollywood, right? Now the themes that this film tackles is mainly parenthood and the fear of parenthood, and when you watch this movie, that theme is pretty apparent when you keep that in mind. Lekin it is veiled over so many layers of disturbing and weird imagery and sounds that it is just it freaks you out. It really does freak you out if you haven't seen any movie like this before. Uh, the only thing that I can say is that go into this movie with an open mind. It is surely going to entertain you, and the weird imagery will definitely stick with you. And it is a very entertaining movie to watch. Please go check it out. Third on this list is the Three Colors trilogy. Now you may say I'm cheating by including an entire trilogy, but fuck you, it's my list. The Three Colors trilogy is a trilogy by a Polish director. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but this is his name. Krzysztof Kieslowski, I guess. So the Three Colors trilogy are three films. The three colors are blue, white and red, in that order. The three films tell three different stories. You don't really have to know the story of the previous movie to get into a movie that is later in the trilogy. They are very loosely interconnected, okay? Like very loosely. I wanted to add that while these movies are very loosely interconnected and you don't really need prior knowledge of previous movies in the trilogy to make sense of what's happening in a later film in the trilogy, but there are certain scenes that are much more effective if you have prior knowledge and have watched the movies in the proper order. So I do recommend that you watch them in the proper order, which is blue, white and then red. These three movies were really a joy to watch because, as you could probably guess, blue, white and red, the first film, Blue, has a lot of blue in its colors, in its color palette, in its cinematography. The second film has a lot of white. The third film has a lot of red. And while that is prevalent, that's not really the focus of the film. It is there. Like, and the thing is, the story, the performances, everything is great, and these three films are just a joy to watch. Please go give them a shot. I would say that white is probably the weakest of the trilogy and red is probably the best one of the trilogy, in my opinion, of course. The second movie on this list is The Holy Mountain, directed by Alejandro Jodorowsky. Zoom back camera. You'll get what I'm talking about when you see the movie. This film is fucking insane, okay? If you thought David Lynch's films were weird, Alejandro Jodorowsky's films are like Lynch cracked up to 11, okay? You could call this a surrealist film. A lot of the things that happen in this movie, a lot of the things that happen on the screen are very metaphorical. There's a ton of symbolism in this film. It deals with tons of concepts like greed and humans' selfish nature, stuff like religion, war, and just very heavy themes. Like, this was the first Alejandro Jodorowsky movie that I saw, and I was just blown away by it. Like Eraserhead, you won't forget the imagery in this movie. It is just so different and so surreal. Some of the things that happen in this movie, they're obviously not meant to be taken literally, lekin just the sight of some of the things that happen in this movie, you are never going to forget them. I saw this movie, the last time I saw this movie was maybe, 2-3 years ago, and I still vividly remember many of the scenes of this movie. It is just such an impactful movie. And if you're into film at all, if you're into movies at all, if you're looking to get into like weird, if you're looking to get into like art house cinema, this movie is a must. It's an essential. You need to watch this movie. Whether not everybody likes it, obviously, whether you like it or not. Like, and the thing is that it really is an essential film that you need to watch if you're going to get into art house cinema. It is like an insane film. The ending is amazing. The ending will definitely blow you away. It certainly did blow me away when I saw it for the first time. Please go watch this movie. It is great. Okay, number 1 on the list is a film called 8½. 8½, is an Italian film directed by renowned Italian director Federico Fellini. It came out in 1963. Go to the Wikipedia page, it is titled as a surrealist comedy drama film, which is not far off. How do I describe this movie? It's about a filmmaker that is going through the process of making his movie, and it depicts many of the struggles and many of the obstacles that he faces while making his movie, many of the people that he deals with, both in his professional life and his personal life. And basically the theme and the idea behind the film is it is kind of semi-autobiographical, based on Fellini's own life and his struggles and everything. Basically the themes of this film is basically the struggle of the creative process, basically throwing your ideas into the public, portraying the things that you feel and your artistic expression, that placing that in front of the public for them to gawk at and for them to ridicule, to criticize, and facing all that criticism, all the same while balancing your personal life, finding true happiness within your fragmented life, like within balancing your work life and your personal life, and then dealing with public scrutiny, what the public thinks of you, how you deal with that, and many different themes like that. And if you're a creative person in any way, if you make movies, if you make videos, if you make music, if you make paintings, you can very much relate to this movie. Like when you create something and you put it out into the world and you're looking for validation from the public, this is something that this movie deals with on a very primal level. Again, some of the imagery in this movie is like iconic, and I have never forgotten the opening sequence of this film, and some of the dream sequences in this film are so intriguing, so fascinating. It really is a treat to watch. Please go watch it. Finally, I'd just like to say I'm very sorry. I wanted to be much more regular than I am. The last video within this series came out more than a month ago, I think, and I'm sorry for that. I'm trying to be more regular. The truth is I really don't have no excuse. I'm just lazy, and I'm trying to work that out. I'm trying to work on it. Hopefully आगे better regularly scheduled videos आएंगे. I can't guarantee it, but I'm going to try. Thank you as always. Goodbye.